So the next concept I want us to look at today is we are now on lesson 5. Is it lesson 5? That should be. Why is it everything 5? I think there is an error somewhere. But anyway, so the topic is list manipulation. So we look at working with the list and how can we work with items in list. So React list is all about how to work with a list of items or a list of objects. All right, and the best use case the best example I can demonstrate here is, for example, let us say in this project that we are going to build, we are going to build a social blogging site where people can make their posts, and we can have comments, and we can have likes and all that. So assuming you want to write a program to be able to fetch all the posts that were made today, or all the posts that are made, or you want to see all the users, you see, so these users are going to come in a list. So you're going to have a list of users, or a list of posts made, or a list of comments or likes and such. So when you're working with this list, how do you make sure that you render those lists well and display them appropriately? So the best approach to working with the list in React is by using the JavaScript array method called the map. So we have a method. You remember when we were introducing the concept of arrays, and you said an array is basically a list. So it stores a list of items. And therefore array has methods. And some of the methods we looked at while we were looking at arrays are the length method, the pop method, uh, the remove method, and many other ones. So one of the important method of an array is called the map. So the map method is used to manipulate or to uh, work with lists. All right, and below you can see this is a code sample demonstrating how you can work with lists. All right, so you can see even without my explanation, with these notes at your own time, you can take and read these notes, read what is a list, how to work with a list. Then you can even see there is a code. I've placed a small code sample. You can just copy this code the way it is, paste it in your Visual Studio, and try to run it, and you see the results. When you get it right, then you can now delete it and write your own. Try to be more creative, and maybe see how you can create your own array, create your own list, and display it. All right, so let us take a practical example to see how can we display a list of items. All right, how can we display a list of items? So what I'm going to do I'm going back to our project here, and to demonstrate that concept, I'm going to add another page, and I'm going to call it users, so that in our page here, in our app here, we should see another fourth link here called users. And when I click on users, I'm going to see all the list of users displayed here. All right, so to do that, because it is a component on its own, I'm going to right click and create a file and call it users user page dot js, because it is going to be a JavaScript file. After creating this file, then I'm going to create a component. All right, so I'm going to create a function component in it, and I could just take this code sample here, because we already know how to create a component. All right, so what we have here basically is that we have a function a function component, we have a function called students, or in case let me call it users in this case, since we are displaying users. So we have a component called users, and we are storing a list, an array. Here we are declaring a variable. So let me even add comments to explain what this code is. So here we are declaring a variable array variable to hold list of students, I mean list of users. Then here we are going to call, let's call it, instead of student list, let's call it users list. All right, then let us have several names of those students. So could say the first student is Samuel, second maybe Winfred, another one maybe Ochari. So we have a list of 3 students which are stored as the array. Then now we can return and say list of users. This is just a header, it has nothing to do with the list. So it is a header that is going to be displayed, list of users. Then we use the list tag ul, and here we are going to say we refer to this variable users list dot, and because it is an array, we are going to make use of the map function. So you can see when you click dot, you can see there are so many array methods which are you can use them. So the method we are going to use is the map, this particular method here. So the map is the one you're going to use to be able to manipulate the items in the list one by one. It's more like using the for loop to display each of the item in the list. So we're going to say user list dot map, and we call that particular user, we get that particular user. Then we're going to say list, we can call the username, and then we refer to the user. And then at the end of it, we must make sure we export this component so that it can be available to be imported in another file. So we are exporting users. All right, after exporting, it, then we can come and import it in our app.js. So we import it just the way we've imported these other ones. So we want to import, what are we importing? The users that we've just exported, and we are importing users from user page. After importing that, we need to add it so that it can be visible as one of the link here as well. So we should be able to configure it within these routes as well. So we're going to say route, we add another route for that. If the path is equals to slash users, then display this element, display this component. So which component are we displaying? We are displaying the so we are displaying the users. We are displaying the users component. All right, so I'm gonna save that. Let me delete this one. All right, then I'm going to close this routing here. So I'm going to save, Then I'm also going to go to my navigation bar to make sure that this link also appears on that. So I'm going to add another link. It has to be a capital, and 2/users. And then I'm also going to add this style. So let me say the style should be, the color should also be white so that it can be visible. Alright. Then add the text that will be visible, maybe users. I'm gonna save that. So once it is saved, everything is okay, then you can restart. Let me see if it starts here. Yeah, so it will automatically restart even without me restarting it. So you can see now we have our fourth link, which is users, and when I click on it, you can see now we have the list of users, and the list of users is displayed down here. Username Samuel, username again Winfred, username Ochari. So that's how you can iterate through the list of items using the array method called map. So here we are getting, you see, these are variable user list, which we are assigning these values, and then we are using that variable to access its method map. And this map, we are saying get each user. That's why we are calling it user here. Get each user, and for each of that user, display it inside this list item as a list item. So we refer to that. Again, you go and check the array, get the next user, display it in this. Again, get the next user, display in it here, until all the elements in this list are exhausted. Alright, so that's how you work with arrays or list of items in React. I will pause here unless you have a question to ask. You can ask, can just unmute and ask. Any query? If no query, then let me pause this clip before we can go to the next lesson.